And welcome back to Poltergeist Board Games. Today I'm going to be talking about Napoleon from GMT Games and designed by Ted Racier. This is now in my top 5 for 2024. This is an excellent game. I recommend everyone try to get this and play it. It is a solitaire game, but it's here's the box here. Try to get that glare. All right, so solitaire abilities 9, complexities of 3. It has a 22 by 34-inch mounted board with some beautiful artwork on it. And then it's got 222 playing cards, and the cards drive this game. It's really great. It comes with a really good rule book. This rule book, and it comes with that's the rule book, and then a playbook that goes over like the play in detail. It's very nice. Then you get a player aid. This is for campaigns. It's a battle map. This really helps in deciding, who your assigned commanders are, who your used ones are, your strategy, tactics, campaign modifiers. So it breaks it all out. It's really nice. And then it's got a table on here to figure out, if you win or lose. And then on the back, it has potential campaign selection table, which is good. That way you don't have to flip to the book all the time. And then abdication resolution steps. So let me tell you about this game. The goal is to try to last as long as you can through the end of 1821, is when Napoleon passed away due to, they think, cancer, stomach cancer. So you have here, I'll take you around the board. You have a general records track, which, I have this in the wrong spot, keep doing that. So you have administrative points. You have, and I always, every time I see the G, I always think gold, but it's glory, and the glory points are what you want. Then you have political points, and then you have diplomacy. So you put these, start them on 0. You try to get, go along the track here. You're trying to get the limit, 100 limit of glory. 100 is the goal. You get that, and then that's like basically the glory that Napoleon achieved. Down the left side, and then you have a year track. So it starts 1793, and this is the commander phase, and then you have the first consul phase, and then the emperor phase, up until the end, 1817 to 1821. And then if you get abdicated, you have an abdication sequence. On the left side, you have a card draw track. This tells you, this keeps track of the cards you draw. And then once you get past 5, you start a die roll. And once you hit that die roll, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, then you stop. And then you go on to the sequence. Here, you have the sequence of play with a nice marker to pull down, and mark where you are. So if you have to leave, you'll know exactly what phase you're on. The sequence of plays, the year setup phase, the card deck phase. You skip these 2 in the first year. Then you have the card action phase, which is the main engine of the game. Campaign resolution phase, the diplomatic phase, domestic politics phase, and the cleanup phase. The diplomatic and domestic does not come into play until you get to the first consul period. So those are skipped. And then you start using this domestic politics table and this diplomacy table. Sorry, my dog's making noise in the background. Okay, so then you have in here, you have your countries that you're dealing with. You'll be placing cards on here throughout the game that will give you advantages and disadvantages based on your relationship with them. And then you have on the right side, you have Napoleon's like family. So you have the family, you have the wife, and then you have Napoleon's bed, which is, you know, the mistress. Then you have a politics, and then this is for Napoleon himself. When he changes from, you know, commander to first consul and then emperor, different things happen. Then you have your kind of cabinet, chief of staff, minister of police, and Talleyrand. And then down here you have your die roll modifier table track, which is helpful when you're trying to calculate based on different values that you get on cards and stuff. So you can, you know, okay, -1, okay, now I get a +1, you know, so you can move it back and forth and keep track of that. It comes with a 10-sided die. I don't like this color combination. It's hard to read, so I always have to pick it up to find out if that's a 7 or a 1. Just because I don't know, it's kind of hard to read the two colors. Then you have down here, you have your current treaties right here. And then you have your commanders, your campaign, current campaign, your campaign modifiers, and your strategy and tactics. And then off to the side, here's where you put your deck, right here, put your draw deck. And then over to the right, over this way, you can't see it, but it's potential treaties. And then over on this edge of the board is called potential campaigns. Those two things are confusing to me, when exactly you place them and so forth. I had a little struggle with that when I was playing the game. So let me go over some things. My likes. So I like this card system. You start with the commander deck, and it'll tell you place immediately cards 46, 48, and 51. Or I'm sorry, this is 1796. I already have it. This is the commander deck here. And it tells you it's cards 1 through 34, place immediately 18, 22, and 23. And so here's 23. This says place face down in the strategy and tactics during the CMD setup. And then you turn face up by the topographical bureau, card 32. I also like that it will tell you what card, so I'm going to put it down here in the strategy and tactics. And then you have place and strategy and tactics during CMD setup. So this one is card 22, and I'm going to place that. So this gives you gain a +3 die roll and 1 combat round per campaign when used. And then you have to roll to see if he's killed. I've had this happen where, you know, I'd been in a campaign and he gets killed right away. So I'd played 3 times. The first time I went to 1799. The next time I went to 1802 and killed both times. My third time I made it all the way to the end, and he was still emperor. Didn't have to abdicate or get exiled or anything. Okay, and then I have, this is 18. Okay, so this one, place face down in I Napoleon during the CMD setup. You get a +1 administrative points per year. Turn face up at the end of any campaign or expedition if you have 5 or more glory. So place that over here in the I Napoleon. And then this is just your little card divider. I just put it back. And then I place the cards on top. So then what you can do is you can shuffle the rest of the deck. And then you're going to do your card draw. So let me go over the other things. So I like the card system. It'll tell you exactly, it'll say, so this is brought in during the CMD, the commander period. And then it'll tell you, you take it out in the 1796 or when it's played. So you, either of those. This one's taken out during the first console or if it's played. Card 33 will remove this one or the first console or if it's played. So there's, different things, and it'll tell you, remove him, failure result in an expedition where he's an independent commander. So it'll tell you. It's actually really nice. And so you get to take cards out, and you also are adding cards. So when you get to 1796, you add another deck. So you're going to add this deck, and it's going to have some cards to place immediately. And so, and then 1796, as you saw, you're going to be taking out cards. So it's a really, really neat system. I like it a lot. The rules and the way it familiarizes you with the main engine of the game. I like how there's like the rules or the playbook will show you, or it'll go over the first period here, going through and how to work the engine of the game of drawing the cards and drawing these cards and going through it. And then what it's going to do is it's going to add, once you get to this stage, it's going to add some complexity, and there's going to be more things that are added, and you're going to be dealing with the diplomacy and the domestic politics. So, the game expands and it gets more complex, which is nice. The artwork of the board and the cards. I mean, you have like a map under this kind of, this would be current day, like Germany. You have Italy, and it goes through. It's really, really well thought out. Also, it's, I just noticed some spaces over here. Some, it's the cards, with their art, and they have pictures and artwork of different scenes and different commanders. I mean, it's really nice. The cards are really thick and good poker-sized cards. The counters are nice and thick, and let's see there. So this is a luck token, so you get to use this if you want to change a die roll or draw another card, and then you flip it over to used. And you can use it once per year. You have on the diplomacy tracks, these are your different nations. They all start at hostile, and then they move throughout the game to, different positions, and it'll affect your campaigns and things. I like the way the board is utilized and the way the tables are already on the board. I like how it's got a sequence of play. A lot of games have that, but it's got, this domestics table, the campaign combat resolution. It's got the diplomacy table. So everything you need, is right there. You don't have to look in the rule book for anything. You don't need, outside of this player aid, which, the only time you're going to need it is when you're doing potential campaigns. which is nice. Then let's see, my dislikes. Now I'm going to preface this with, this is my learning. Sometimes I interpret rules differently because I have reading comprehension issues. So I'm going to preface this part with that, and it's probably me, and I'm sure other people that are smarter than me understand these sections very well. But the only parts that really confused me were, it's the potential campaigns and treaties. I was just kind of confused, and I only got to them, once. So I'm sure when I play it again and again, it's going to be, more and more familiar to me. And so it's just probably my lack of playing as well. How countries get conquered is also a little confusing to me, because I need to learn more about that and read up on that. And then the end of the game kind of confused me because I got to the 1817, so I wasn't exactly sure how it ended. Like, did I play this as just a regular year? Because it's, span of 5 years. And then do I move to the abdication part? But I posed that question in Board Game Geek, and Ted Racier answered and said, no, you just play this as a regular year. And then, the only time you go to the abdication part is if you're told to. Like a card drives you to that part. So, with that being said, I'll just quickly show you how this game flows. So we skip these 2 phases, and we start with our card action phase. So we're going to do 1 card draw. So we have a writing accident. When revealed, you're going to have things that'll say, may or must. Must means you have to do it. May means you can or cannot do it. It's up to you. You decide. So advance the card draw track and reveal the next card. Then discard it, unless it is an Austria, Britain, Prussia, or Russia card. Then remove this card from play. If writing accident is drawn as the final card draw during the card action phase, it remains active and is played during the first applicable card draw of the year. Okay, so I draw the next card and I discard it. And then this one I remove from play, so I just put it back with the card holder. All right, so now we go to the next turn. Topographical Bureau must +1 P. Oh, I forgot, when you start with, you start the game with 3 administrative points. And you're going to use these administrative points to buy, and also your glory points and political. You'll use them to buy different options. Like when you have commanders, you may use an administrative point to use one of the options for a die roll modifier. All right, so must +1 political point and flip maneuver. So +1, and we flip this card here. So now we have this as another strategy and tactic card. Then remove this card from play where it says here. Okay, so all right, so now we go to 4, Corsica Expedition. Now, expeditions you have to play right away. Campaign, the campaign will go in the campaign section, and you play the campaign once you get to that section of the board, the campaign resolution phase, which is after this card draw. All right, when revealed, roll the die and remove this card from play with no effect on result of 1 to 6. Otherwise, must immediately resolve an expedition. Roll the die. Alright, so I'm gonna use my die here. I got an 8. So, no effect. 6 or more. No effect on a result of 1 to 6. Otherwise, must immediately resolve an expedition. Okay, so now I have to play the expedition. This was just to see if it applied. And I got another 8. So 6 or more is success. I get a +5 glory and a +1 political. Okay. And then once this is played, we remove it. Okay. From 5. Piedmont expedition must immediately resolve an expedition with no supporting commanders. Roll the die. I got a 3. That's a failure, no effect. So now I get rid of that. Go to 6, and I have to, before I draw, I have to roll. If I get a 1, which I get a 5, so I keep drawing. Campaign, artillery too long. When revealed, must place in campaign if empty, otherwise discard. Now you can only have one campaign at a time, and it'll say limit 1. There's spots on here that'll say limit 1 over here in these two. So we'll resolve that after we're done here. All right, a 1 to 2, and I got a 7, so I keep drawing. Advisor to the Turks, I Napoleon. When revealed, may place in I Napoleon to immediately get a +5 glory and a +1 political. Then discard all campaign and campaign modifier cards. Draw and place non-campaign cards as normal, but do not play any cards other than Robespierre's Fall. If in play at beginning of 1794, must -1A and remove this card from play. Okay, that's an ongoing effect. All right, so I get 5 glory and 1 political. So I'm up to 10, 1 political. And then discard all campaign and campaign modifier cards. So get rid of that one. Discard means it goes in the discard pile off to the side. And that means you can draw it again. Okay, so now 1 to 3. Got a 7. Okay, so this one is Napoleon the Spy, immediate effect. When revealed, if Robespierre's Fall has been played, a -1P, otherwise a +1P. So it has not been played, so we get a +1P. And then roll the die. And I got a 5. A 1 must either -5 glory and -2 or -2. Otherwise, Napoleon is captured and the game ends. 2 to 10, no effect. So I got a 5, no effect. So this card's removed from play. All right, 1 to 4. Got a 6, keep drawing. Okay, Augustin Robespierre. This is card 20. May place in politics. May choose to ignore 1 campaign or expedition per year. Discard without effect. Gain a +2 die roll on under arrest. Inflicts a -2 die roll modifier on Brumaires. Card 47. All right, so I will remove this when 29 is revealed or in the first console. So this goes into the politics spot. And I got, okay, so no. All right, now we're on a 1 to 5. Got a 7, I keep rolling, or drawing. All right, Robespierre's Fall, here we go, here's card 29. Remove Augustin Robespierre, number 20, then immediately add cards 54 to 63 to the deck. Shuffle in all current campaign modifiers. The current campaign card and the discard pile are not shuffled in, then remove this card from play. Okay, so these two are removed, and I get 54 to 63. And they are immediately shuffled in. I don't have any campaign cards or modifier cards. And discards don't go in. Okay. All right, a 1 to 6. We only have one more shot here. Okay, I got a 5, so now I stop. So now we go to the campaign resolution phase. We don't have a campaign sitting here, so that phase is skipped. We do not do the diplomatic phase or the domestic politics phase, so now it's the cleanup phase. So now what you're going to do is go through the deck, find cards that should be removed for the year. So what I'm looking for is any cards that say like 29 or 17. We're going to 1794 on them. Some of these cards you're going to carry along, throughout the game. All right, here's a 1794, so that one will go away. And here's a 1794. Okay, so that's all of that. And then what you would do, your administrative points always reset to 0 at the end of the year. And then I would advance the year to 1794, move this back up to 1. Can move that back. So now year setup phase, so this would be advancing that on the track. And then your card deck phase is if you have to add or remove. I guess I did that too early. So you would add or remove any cards there, and then you go back to your card action phase, and you go through drawing the cards and placing them on the board. So that's how this game flows. And then, like I said, when you get to this level here, first console, it gets more complex. You start to add in more cards and more. I mean, look how this is the first console deck. See how many cards that is? That's quite a bit. And this is the Emperor deck. The Emperor deck's even bigger. So, as there, it says 222 cards. But yeah, it gets a little more complex. A lot of things going on. You're gonna have a lot of cards in here that you're gonna have to keep track of. Cards in here to keep track of, and different. They have these cool little things, so you can put it on a card to remind you that you get 1 political point every year, or you get like 2 administrative points per year. Then you have a bastard son and a legitimate son tokens for when you get married and so forth, have mistresses. But that is basically how this game's played. So hope you like it. I like it a lot. It's in my top 5 for this year. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Take care. Bye.